how do you think about structuring the coaching experience? I mean, does it have to be long? Can it be short? Like, what are the different types of coaching engagements that you have seen work?
So, I mean, and I think what's interesting, coaching engagements can look like anything at all. So, I've just finished a coaching engagement with a senior executive in a pharmaceutical company, and we had a coaching engagement for 2 years. I saw her through all sorts of ups and downs, organizational changes, changes in jobs, changes in ownership, and the relationship has just ended now. So, that's a 2 year engagement of meeting once a month or once every 6 weeks. Then, of course, I have other coaching engagements where I'll see people just twice for two 1 hour sessions. And it's a very specific focus about a specific area of their presence or their communication skills. Then there are other programs that we do with other organizations where we have a very programmatic structure, where we have a very structured sort of intake around feedback from sponsors and others, a chemistry check, 6 1 hour sessions, and then a closing checkout in terms of, again, feedback to sponsors and HR people. And then I've done coaching engagements where I get called in just for a one-off presentation. Says, Richard, I've got to do a big presentation next week. I need some help. And I get called in then for an hour just to work on their presentation. And I will give some insights about what they can do differently to make it more relevant to them. Another engagement I did once, which was absolutely fascinating, was I was called into a company to work on their first market days presentation. And in this situation, I was brought in along with a company that specialized in communication around shareholder value. I mean, you're speaking publicly to the shareholders for the first time. And it was a wonderful experience because now I've got people who are working on the content and I'm coming in working on presence. And I'm working for a half day with the 6 C-suite members who are going to stand up and talk about their company to their new shareholders. And that, again, was a very different experience, but there I'm working with a team of people. I worked previously in the same organization with their C-suite when a new CEO came in and she wanted to reestablish the C-suite perspective and the culture of the organization around the new guard. And again, I was working then with 6 or 7 of the senior leaders in positioning their presence. So it started to feel like, oh, we've got a new guard here, a new person's coming in. Oh, this feels a little bit different. And it was, again, wonderful to work with a team. So it's individuals, it's working with teams, it's working for short engagements, long engagements that start off at a 2 hour session and end up being 8 hours. And it's all over the map.